morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us on another episode of Coffee and Cryptos. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Dom. Today's video was a widely requested topic, so we thought we'd sit down and share some wealth building tips for couples just now starting out.
Let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is communicate expectations with each other. How often should date nights be? How much will we eat out in a month? Will we be splitting rent and other bills?
It may be awkward at first, but this is important so both individuals can be in sync with their financial goals. Being on the same page is what you want because it makes no sense if one person is trying to save while the other person keeps spending.
This can be done regardless if it is a single or dual income household. Stay-at-home spouses play a role in this too, although their role is primarily focused on creating opportunities to save.
For example, the stay-at-home spouse can clean the house and cook meals instead of hiring a cleaning service crew or eating out. They can watch the kids instead of hiring a nanny or cut the lawn instead of paying someone.
We aren't suggesting that it's all work and no play though, and not all conveniences need to be sacrificed. Dominique and I quite enjoy some of our conveniences. However, as people increasingly pay more for convenience, these are all things that can suck away unnecessary income.
Once both parties have set clear financial goals, that leads us to the next principle of building wealth, formulating a budget. This is an important tool that everyone should be using. It doesn't need to be anything complex, just do what works for y'all.
Keep in mind some people use the Mint app, an Excel spreadsheet, or even a notepad on their phone. The important thing is that you need to track all your income and expenses for the month. Once an accurate budget is created, the next step is to start tackling any debts.
Debt is not all bad, but the less time it hangs over you, the better. Whether it's from college, a vehicle, or abusing credit cards, try to pay these off as quickly as possible.
However, do not pay off these debts at the expense of not contributing towards an emergency savings fund. It is far more important to have an emergency savings fund rather than paying extra money towards your debt.
A good rule of thumb for an emergency fund is enough money to maintain y'all's existence for 3 to 6 months. This includes rent and utilities as well as groceries or vehicle repairs. You can even store your emergency savings fund in a high-yield savings account.
Next, you'll want to automate what you can. Ensure that your credit card payments are set up so it takes the stress out of missing a payment. Missing payments can be a real negative hit to your credit score, and you'll need that to be as high as you can get it.
A higher credit score grants you the ability to get pre-approved for low interest rate loans when they are necessary, like for a car or for a house. Good credit even helps you with getting an apartment.
Another tip for building wealth as a couple is to beware of lifestyle creep. Now this is what gets a lot of people. It simply means you start spending more as you start making more. We aren't saying not to enjoy the fruits of your hard labor, but if you were able to live comfortably before that promotion, why would you suddenly need to spend more money?
Let's look at a hypothetical scenario. There's a couple that makes $80,000 a year together, even split. Husband brings home $40,000 a year after taxes, and so does the wife. They both manage to keep their combined yearly expenses down to $50,000. Say they both get promotions, and now together they bring home $120,000 a year. Now they spend, and suddenly they find themselves with yearly expenses of $80,000. This is how people miss out on the ability to grow their wealth.
It takes a lot of financial discipline, but if they were living just fine on $50K worth of yearly combined expenses, then why would a promotion suddenly put them in a situation when they can no longer fit their yearly combined expenses into $50,000 or less, like before?
We realize that life happens and increased expenses are just a normal occurrence. Maybe a family is preparing for a baby, someone needs a new car, or an upgrade from an apartment to a house, or a one-story house to a two-story house.
But these are situations that should be budgeted for, and it should not be the standard to increase expenses just because income increases. It isn't always about how much you make, but it is about how much you don't spend. We're not insensitive to cost of living increases or inflation. We're talking about other big life events that you need to budget for.
The next step for wealth building as a couple is to invest. The hard truth is that you cannot become wealthy working for someone else for your entire life. A 9-to-5 office job is not the key to generational wealth.
The best way to build wealth, aside from starting a business or acquiring real estate, is to invest, like Dominique said. Compound interest is a powerful thing, but you have to start contributing as much as you comfortably can, as early as you can.
There are many ways to invest. Individual retirement arrangements known as IRAs are popular options. Available in Roth and traditional formats, these tools can generate millions of dollars for people over the course of their working lifetime.
IRAs are available at a number of financial institutions, and many offer their own exclusive index funds, mutual funds, and exchange-traded funds known as ETFs. I'll go over my favorite funds in a future video. You also need to look into the rules regarding IRAs, as you become ineligible to make contributions if you bring in too much income. Keep in mind that there are certain limits for single and married.
In addition to IRAs, there's also a 401k, which is a retirement saving and investment plan that most employers offer. These typically come with employer matching, which means if you contribute a percentage of your paycheck towards it, the company you work for will match the percentage that you contribute as well, up to a certain limit.
And last but not least, if you have money to spare, this is where you can invest in crypto. I know. Why is crypto the last piece of advice on a channel that primarily focuses on cryptocurrency? Well, the truth is that crypto is still relatively risky for a large majority of the population, and not for those who are risk averse. While that may change over time, as we believe, we cannot in good faith recommend that people only put their money in crypto without first having some other backup plan.
Many people are solely in crypto but do not have a Roth IRA or 401k, and that is extremely risky. We have both just in case, which is good for diversification. While you can be diverse among crypto and stocks, you also need to realize that you can be diverse in retirement plans and sources of income.
If financial freedom is your goal, you'll need to work your way up towards creating passive income streams, or even investing in stocks and funds that pay out the most dividends.
Well, that's all for this one, guys. We hope you learned something new today. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content.
Follow us on Instagram at Coffee and Cryptos, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you around.